Hi guys, this is Creative Cuts, a channel where I build, paint and create things. Today's video will be slightly different to my usual build video and give you a little bit of a look behind the scenes and give you an insight into how I have my studio set up. Before we begin, if you'd like to support the channel, then you can subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest videos, hit the like button to show YouTube your appreciation, and share it with a friend as it really helps the algorithm. Also, let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions about how I could improve my studio, or feel free to ask questions if you'd like me to go into more detail about specific things. So with all that out of the way, I will briefly give a little background and context. I moved house about 2 years ago, and to my joy, the house came with a little outhouse in the garden. That would be perfect for a small studio. I filmed a short video on my initial setup, which involved some basic shelving and a small workbench on wheels. See the link above if you want to watch that. But, as anyone knows who has moved house before, when you first move in, things are put in places that sort of seem to make sense initially, or just because you've got the space. But after a while of living in that space, these may change. Nothing wrong with that, just a natural evolution of a space. Same applies to my studio. Here is a little glimpse at what I created in the first version and some makeshift solutions I found to film my models. As you can see, it's by no means perfect, but it did its job for quite a while. And this is what I have going on now. As you can see, some things remained in place, some things have been fine-tuned, and there certainly have been many new additions. What quickly became apparent, as any hobbyist will know, was the need for space. And not just any space, but organised, compartmentalised space. So I basically filled the studio with drawers. This wasn't an overnight process, and basically added more drawers as the need arose. Eventually I will probably replace some of the mismatched drawers, but for now they serve their purpose, and as it's only me who sees it most of the time, it's all good. These drawers came in all shapes and sizes, and strangely, because they're all a bit odd, it helps me remember where everything is. I keep everything from power tools and modelling materials in these drawers, so it helps to create some sort of system, either through labels or zones or whatever seems to work for you. I set up a hand tool area with some pegboard to hang my tools from, and keep everything within easy reach. Simple, yet super effective. And this is an ever-growing collection, but let me know if you want me to go into more detail about which specific tools I use. I also added a sander. This hooks up to my dust extraction, so the dust is minimal, and is great for shaving down wood quickly for the perfect fit. I also ordered several laser-cut paint holders, and managed to break each one as I assembled them. So, in the end, I decided to just build my own. Sure, it was a bit of extra work, but once built, it's not something I need to think about again. As my ambition for my project expanded, so did my ideas for my studio. I also decided to try and fit in a small wood workshop, as if the battle for space wasn't already enough. So I brought a table saw and mounted it on a small table I'd built, which I can easily push around. And as I said in a recent video, this is probably my favourite tool that I own, as it's so versatile and has allowed me to make clean, accurate, straight cuts. And this opened up a whole new world of possibilities to build custom storage solutions. but that is for a future me to deal with. I also built in another bench / drawer / miter station, and I learned how to use SketchUp, the 3D modeling program, and found this to be fantastic for designing the units on the computer, as it basically gave me a cheat sheet with all the measurements I needed. I mounted in a lovely Makita miter saw, and this cuts beautifully clean and is an absolute pleasure to use. The whole unit together functions great. I added some aluminium T-track combined with some stop blocks, which again work great. Now I can quickly make repeated crosscuts with ease. These drawers came out pretty well, and for a first attempt at cabinetry, I'm pretty pleased with the result, even if I do say so. And more drawers means more storage, and some tiny glimmer of hope in the eternal struggle for space. I included some timber storage on the walls. I had built in some shelves previously, but I decided I could lose some shelves as I'd just gained 16 new drawers. To even attempt to have a wood workshop / modelling studio / filming environment all in one place is crazy, I know. But one way this is even remotely possible is by having some dust extraction. In my case, I took a chance on this Titan drum vac, and I have to say it paid off. I'm very happy with it, as I can plug my tool straight into it and it will come on automatically when I turn on the tool. Sure, it doesn't catch absolutely everything, but for 80 quid, definitely worth the money. It also makes cleaning up pretty easy. Now my paint setup hasn't changed all too much, just laid out on shelves organised by paint type and brush type, super glues and solvents, a compressor for my airbrushes and airbrush cleaning products, and along the top shelf there are lots of little bits boxes, random bits of models, toys, packaging, tubes and pipes, all things that I've collected over the years to use in a future project that never seems to arrive, but I promise one day it will. On the other shelf I store my terrain modelling materials, static grasses, flocks, stones and pebbles, and anything else I deemed useful over the years when making models. And my piece de resistance is my filming setup. As long as I've been doing YouTube, I've never really found a solution to my camera setup. I've tried a few different types of tripods, as well as several table clamped arms to hold my camera, and while each one kind of worked, there was always an issue of me bumping into the camera or knocking the tripod or the table. And after a lot of trial and error, I decided to bite the bullet and go for a ceiling mounted setup. So I built in a simple frame made from some metal handrails and ordered a camera arm and clamped this to my scaffold. I can now position the camera anywhere I want without accidentally kicking the table or knocking a tripod. I also got some sweet LED panels and also mounted these with a few adapters and super clamps. And to top it off, I got a super basic TV to use as a screen. No more going through my footage while editing and realising half the footage is unusable because my hands wandered out of the shot. So now I can hook up my camera via a HDMI cable to my TV, and instead of the small but beautiful screen on the back of the camera, now I can easily view my frame with just a glance. I also installed a roller blind in a neutral grey. Simple photography backdrop that is super easy to set up and put away. And sure, I'm fully aware that these are first world YouTuber problems to solve. but to know that the little things that used to annoy me and take away from my hobby enjoyment are now a thing of the past means I can just build, let my mind go, rather than wrestling with something technological, to have fun. And there we are. This is my studio checkpoint in 2024. I'm sure it will continue to evolve. Everything always does, right? But for now, I'm super happy with my current setup. And let me know how you would do things differently, or what you might add to the setup. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I will be back with some epic builds very soon. And maybe this video has given some of you a little inspiration to address some of the little things that niggle you about your setups. Small changes can make a massive difference. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.